Reds hanging around. 6 games under 500 still has you in it in the National League. And the Dodgers looked good over the weekend in that series sweep of the Red Sox. They had kind of been treading water for a long time. They are way up on the Diamondbacks, who, as I said, have played very well for literally a couple of months now. They looked like they were going to have a disappointing season. Now they're 2 games over 500. You'll get a good look at them here at the K over the next 3 nights. Padres have fallen back after a big surge. They've dropped 7 of their last 10 games, but over 500 still. Giants just are always anywhere from 3 to 6 games under 500, no matter what time of it is. Every Monday I come here, and they're kind of in the same spot. They've lost 6 of their last 10, and the Rockies, even though they took 2 of 3 from the Royals a couple of weeks ago, they are in dead last place in the National League West. Sporting Kansas City, a 1-all draw on Saturday night. They really have to win just about all games in MLS play. They only have 8 left, and they're 9 points back of a playoff spot. It's a very entertaining and spirited game against rival St. Louis on Saturday night. Sporting had the statistical edge. They did fall behind. Many observers thought the goal scorer for St. Louis, Nokvi Thoresen, should have been sent off with a red card. He had a yellow card early, then by most people's view, should have had a yellow card just before he scored his goal. But he indeed was the goal scorer to put St. Louis ahead late in the first half. But Willie Agata bounced back and got the tying goal on a beautiful feed from Alan Pulido in the 73rd minute. And Sporting gets the 1-1 draw against St. Louis. Agata has 10 goals. That's tops on the team. 5th goal in 5 matches, as Sporting's regular seasons now will pause for 5 weeks as the Leagues Cup 2024 takes the center stage. That is a competition between teams in the MLS, obviously teams from the United States and Canada, and teams from Liga MX, the Mexican League. And so that, Sporting is in the semifinals of the U.S. Open Cup, and now they're starting Leagues Cup play, and you would think they would put a lot of emphasis on that because it's going to be a really tough pull to get into the playoffs now. That draw saw them lose a couple of points in that playoff race. So Sporting Kansas City ends this phase with pretty good play over the last few games. They had just played, that match was their 7th match in their last 22 games, 22 days. And basically, I would say that in those 8 matches at 24 points up for grabs, they probably would need like at least 18, I would think, in order to make the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. Leagues Cup is the story over the next 5 weeks. It's purely NWSL play for the Kansas City Current, and that's been a nice story all season long. The Current 3-1 winners on Saturday against the Houston Dash. They have the most goals in all of NWSL play by 8, as they are an entertaining bunch. They score 2, 3 just about every game, and they did it at home, and they win over the Dash, and they're continuing to try to flag down Orlando, as those 2 teams went at it a couple of weeks back, and that one went to Orlando, and there was a lot of trash talking and things like that. So it's been an entertaining season on multiple levels for the Teal, and they provide great entertainment and big crowds. A lot of people have fun heading out to the Current games, and why not? They are playing excellent soccer, and entertaining soccer also. Speaking of entertaining, we settled down last night. Somehow we managed, my wife and I, to watch the front 9 in the morning and save the back 9 for the evening. And somehow, even while I was out at Kauffman Stadium and out and about, I managed to avoid the result. Glad I did. It looked like it was going to be ultra exciting. Well, it turned out to be a pretty darn exciting Open anyway. Saturday was rainy and really Scottish-like. and the very, very difficult conditions. And on that day, Xander Schauffle shot 69, one of the best scores of the day that day. And then he went out in the final round and shot 65, including a brilliant 32 on the back nine, a very difficult nine where people were eventually falling away, then making birdies at the end to make it not really tight. Schauffle pretty much had this one wrapped up when he made birdie on 16. He was flawless. He basically, on a course where scrambling is very important, he hit green after green after green, made enough putts, and just a brilliant performance for him to break the heart of the Englishman Justin Rose, who didn't really do anything wrong. He was playing the same group with Schauffle, and he shot a 67. One little hiccup for him at 11. Many of the players in the field bogeyed the most difficult golf hole on the course, which was the 11th hole, and Schauffle made a birdie on that hole, the only one of the day. That one of the keys to his two-shot victory over Billy Horschel, who was trying to win his first ever major. He hasn't played in his career particularly well in the majors. He's an 8-time winner on tour, but had never really done a great job in major championship play. He did on this particular weekend. He had the lead going into the final round. He had the lead. He shot 3 under. That's nothing to be ashamed of, as most of the people at the top of the board did a pretty good job, but it was Schauffle 6 under, Justin Rose 4 under, Horschel 3 under, Lawrence 3 under. This is on the day, and Henley at 2 under, and Henley with his first top 5 finish in a major championship as well. But Schauffle at 9 under par. Got to admit, I like watching tournaments where par is important and birdies are at a premium and very important when you get them. And Xander Schauffle did that. He's now near the top in just about every statistical category. The difference between he and Scottie Scheffler right now, and Scheffler's season cannot be underestimated. He's got a major and 6 wins, but he putted very poorly in this tournament while still finishing in the top 10. He's just not a very good putter. There's no other way to say it. When he putts even half decently, he usually can win, and he can compete even when he doesn't putt particularly well, which he didn't on this particular week. He had basically a 4-putt at the 9th hole, which really derailed his chances. He had gotten to 4 under par and was only a couple shots off the lead. He was just off the green, putted it from off the green to about 6.5 feet, and 3 putted from there, including missing a 2-foot, 8-inch putt. And yeah, you just can't do that. It's reminiscent of what Rory did at the U.S. Open. All hail Xander Schauffle. He has been just playing tremendous golf, and he will be defending his championship at the Olympics. He's the defending gold medalist as the Olympics start up, and the golf takes place in a couple of weeks over in Paris, France. That certainly is part of the story. We'll touch on the Olympics to wrap things up. And let's give you a little bit of Chiefs. A little taste. There's really no great news from camp in St. Joe. There's no bad news either. There's just kind of people talking about football and being dedicated and working out the kinks, and Patrick Mahomes is trying to crack the whip, and nobody's gotten injured significantly yet. The position battles are basically at cornerback, and maybe as far as the left tackle is concerned, how that will shake out. But we know the Chiefs are going to be good. The only question is how good. And so far, what you want coming out of training camp, any training camp, basically in any sport, but particularly in football, is just to not hear about people getting injured. We haven't had any of that, so it's been not so hot. As far as the weather is concerned, I mean, everything's just been pretty darn copacetic in St. Joe for the Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, indeed, the Olympics do crank up later this week. It depends on what you like. Heck, they even have breakdancing in the Olympics this time around. People may scoff at that, but I don't know. When you have figure skating, I mean, basically it's an artistic endeavor, and but it's athletic, and so is breakdancing for that matter, and it's a judged sport, just like figure skating. So I don't think people should think of it, and I think people, sort of say, oh, breakdancing in the Olympics, that's silly. Well, I think it is very much comparable to figure skating. And so anyway, that's just an aside, but I love all the regular sports. A lot of people absolutely love the gymnastics. I'm not so much into that. I like the standard old things. Track and field is my favorite at the Olympics. I love watching track and field. The swimming I like, but there's too many events. I mean, yes, people can win, scads of medals, but if you're a sprinter, you can swim the 100, 200, and 400. There's 3 right there. And then there's relays also, but I like that pure competition too. I mean, these are the Olympics are cool. They're not, I don't think, what they were back in the day for people about my age. That's because we just had less things to consume, and it was about the only thing on network television, and it dominated, and maybe there was a little more fervor at that point in time, but still, it's great theater, and they are going to make sure this time around not to try to pretend that everything is live. They're going to show the events live and not keep them in the can, and then if you miss them, they'll show them in prime time again. And of course, the time difference is about 7 hours over in Paris. But I'm looking forward to the Olympics. I don't know about you, but pick whatever you like. You've got all kinds of things. You can see people swim and dance and dive and do everything and run and jump. And even play golf, for that matter. As over in Paris, that should be pretty cool. I've never been to the Olympics. That would be kind of a bucket list thing for me. That would be fun. I don't know if I'll ever achieve that bucket list, but anyway. So it fits in with the theme of this particular podcast today. A lot of smiles around the world of sports, and it's been fun talking about it and bringing it to you. Relevant baseball, the Chiefs starting out on their journey. It's all good, and it's part of our Monday Musings. Danny and Friends Sports Wrap, and it's always presented by ASFCA.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new. This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture, with 8 convenient locations in the Kansas City metro. Dr. Brad Woodall and his friendly team will improve your health and outlook with every visit. Find out more at asfca.com/Danny.